Welcome to WNL Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Jeremy Franklin. This week, we'll speak with Mandy King and Kaitlyn Kamp from the women's basketball team, as well as assistant swimming coach Mike Ginder. But first, here's a look back at last weekend in Generals athletics. Washington and Lee won the Old Dominion Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship for the first time in program history, defeating Virginia Wesleyan 64-56 in the title game at the Salem Civic Center on Sunday. Sophomore Meg Ingram was named the tournament's most valuable player after totaling 44 points and 14 rebounds over the Generals' 3 games, which also included wins over Guilford and Eastern Mennonite. Sophomore Becca Bolton and first-year Katie Wilson joined Ingram on the all-tournament team. In men's basketball, the 6th-seeded Generals fell 85-80 to number 3-seed Virginia Wesleyan in the ODAC quarterfinals on Friday. Senior Ben Getch scored 19 points and grabbed 11 rebounds in his final game, while junior Jason Semino tallied a career-high 18 points as Washington and Lee finished 17-10. The Generals' 3rd consecutive winning season marks their best run since the late 80s. At the ODAC Indoor Track and Field Championship in Lynchburg on Friday, the women placed 4th and the men finished 7th. First-year Lauren Schultz won the 5,000 meters and ran 3rd in the mile, while senior Kat Telfian came in 2nd in the 5,000 event. For the men, junior David Dubin and senior Ryan Castle recorded top 5 finishes in the high jump. In other action, the men's and women's tennis teams picked up ODAC victories over Randolph-Macon, Virginia Wesleyan, Emory and Henry, and Guilford. The women's team also competed at the ITA National Collegiate Indoor Championships hosted by DePaul in Greencastle, Indiana. There, the Generals swept Johns Hopkins but fell to Chicago and Denison. Men's lacrosse defeated Wittenberg 10-4 in its home opener on Saturday, while the women scored a 14-6 road win over South Region rival St. Mary's. And in a busy weekend for the riding team, Washington and Lee placed 2nd out of 12 teams at the Hollins Invitational and 9th at the University of Virginia Invitational. The Generals end the season in 5th place in the region, and sophomore Tamara Morris placed as the reserve champion in the Caccione Cup. With me now is women's basketball coach Mandy King. Mandy, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Jeremy. I'm so excited to be here.
I know that you and your team believed throughout the course of this season that an ODAC championship was possible, but what's it like now that you've accomplished that feat?
I think some of the richest moments in your life are those moments that you have a great vision for and you do a lot of work to help to achieve them. And that was one of those moments this weekend. I think that when you have a great vision and you've worked really hard, sometimes you have these moments in life that you have an opportunity to go to work and make it happen. And we had a chance to have our dreams come true this weekend.
What did you learn about the character of your team, being able to come back from halftime deficits in both the semifinals and the championship?
I don't know that I learned anything new about this group of young women. They've been strong all year long, but I think to be able to do it on that big stage and to do it when we've been dreaming about it really for our whole time here. And to have them do that on that big stage, I just think it speaks volume for what they had inside of them. And I just think it's awesome that they had a chance to be able to show everyone what a courageous group of young women that they are.
How can the Generals carry over this success into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really important that we stick to the same game plan. We finished the regular season strong and then won an ODAC championship, and we were able to do that because this team really understands the realities of the present moment, and they know that our goal is to just focus on getting better every single step of the way. And I think if we can keep that same mindset and understand that we just have another job to do, I think we're going to be able to have a great upset over Christopher Newport, and then we'll find ourselves in the Sweet 16 next weekend.
What is the significance of the ODAC championship for Washington and Lee women's basketball alumni and for the future of your program?
Well, I think when we first started out 7 years ago, we were recruiting kids and hoping that they would buy into a vision that we had. And many of our former players really believed that this moment would come, and they really wanted to work to make it happen. But now it's a reality, so I don't think that it's such a big risk anymore to choose Washington and Lee, because you know that it can happen. And now it's about creating a tradition of winning ODAC championships, and that's such a great environment to be a part of. And as far as what it means to our alums, I think that it, this year the biggest theme all year long was that this wasn't about us. It was about all those players that wore the jersey before us, and we wanted to make sure that we honored the opportunity that some of our former players never had. And I hope that they all understand that they each, have a piece of the net that we cut down this weekend because we had the opportunity because of all of their hard work.
Mandy, once again, congratulations on the ODAC title. Good luck in Newport News this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Joined now by Kaitlyn Kamp, senior basketball captain from Bloomington, Minnesota. Kaitlyn, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, congratulations on the ODAC title.
Thanks.
Has the magnitude of that really sunk in yet?
You know, not quite yet. When we first won, I remember sitting at dinner, we were eating, and I think every 5 minutes a different player on our team was just like, guys, we won. And, you know, all this week we've just been kind of in a surreal state. Like the whole thing was just so wonderful. And I think it's starting to sink in a little more as we're preparing for the NCAA tournament. But I don't know that I will truly understand how awesome it is until we're a little bit more removed from the season and probably even after graduation. So,
what happened in the second half of the games against Eastern Mennonite and Virginia Wesleyan that turned the tide in the Generals' favor?
I think we were just able to play a lot looser. In the first half, we were really tight, and that caused us to take some bad shots and had some unforced turnovers. And because of that, I think we started playing more as individuals instead of as a team. And in the second half, we were able to get rid of our nerves and just play really loose and have a lot of fun with it. And then we started playing great team basketball. It was a great team win. Everyone contributed. So I think if we continue to just stay loose and have a lot of fun while playing, that will be key for us.
Is the team confident that it can compete with Christopher Newport on Friday?
Yeah, I would say we're really confident going into this. We have played them before. We played them in November, and it was a really close game. And I think we've improved a lot since then. And I think we know that in order to be successful, we have to go in feeling really confident in ourselves. That was a key for us in the conference tournament. And I think just knowing that we can win, we played them so close the last time. It's just, we're all really excited to spend this time together and have another opportunity at CNU.
How does it feel to cap off your career by being part of a championship team?
It's amazing. I couldn't ask for a better way to leave WNL women's basketball. You know, it makes everything worth it all the time. So, you know, you're frustrated and crying about it. Like, it makes it worth it. And this past week from senior day, which just was amazing for me, and then all the way through this championship, I couldn't have asked for a better way to end my career.
Well, Kaitlyn, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Jeremy.
With me now is Mike Ginder, assistant Washington Lee swimming coach. Mike, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jeremy.
The Generals won the ODAC championship on the women's side, and the men finished fourth in a very tough field at the Bluegrass Mountain Conference championships. How did those two meets go for WNL?
We swam very well. Both teams accomplished a lot of the goals that they had set for themselves. We had 4 women's records during the women's meet and 1 men's record, school record fall. So we're always looking to make changes during our training season and how we can improve at the end of the season for conferences.
So looking at the women, you had some great senior leadership, but all in all, it was a very young team. 13 first years, 8 sophomores on a roster of 27. What does that say to you about the future of Washington Lee women's swimming?
Well, this year's freshmen came in with a determination and a purpose that we haven't seen before. They were in the water right away, swimming on their own, and kind of getting into the season ahead of schedule almost. So we're looking for them next year to carry that same attitude and help the next year's first years kind of get into the program. And every year we make strides to becoming a national team on the women's side. So this year's first years and sophomores are going to play a huge part in that process.
What is it like for you to work with Washington Lee swimmers as an alumnus of the program?
To be honest, it was a little strange at first. I'd obviously swam with 3 of the classes my first year coaching. This year's seniors are the last class that swam with me. But it's been awesome. I've been able to kind of impart what I've learned during my swimming career onto them. And I think they've really responded to that. And they come to me when they don't want to go to Joel or Cammie. So it's a good balance.
What are the prospects for WNL men's swimming at the Division III championships coming up later this month?
Well, we're currently waiting for the psych sheet to come out later this week. But we have 2 guys, Chris and Brian, both sophomores. And Chris is already seeded in the top 16 for both of his main events. And he's got a really good shot at finishing in the top 8 and knocking down a couple school records in the process. Brian is seeded higher than he finished last year as a first year in his event. So both should have a very good meet in Minnesota.
Well, Mike, thanks for joining us here on the show.
No problem, thanks.
After winning the ODAC championship, the women's basketball team will compete in the NCAA Division III tournament for the first time. Washington and Lee opens up at Christopher Newport at 7:30 p.m. Friday, and a win there would propel them into the second round on Saturday. Follow the Generals action live on WLUR. In Lexington on Saturday, the women's tennis team takes on ODAC rival Sweetbriar at 11 a.m., while men's lacrosse battles longtime rival Washington College at 3 p.m. Also on Saturday, men's tennis hits the road to take on Salisbury, baseball plays an ODAC twin bill at Lynchburg, and women's lacrosse visits top-ranked Franklin and Marshall. For WNL Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.